This campaign, the second ad, was on MSN. Basically what happened, you've got the two panels there, you've got BA bottom left and you've got the price top right. What happened to the £34 was it turned into the MSN butterfly, flies across the screen and enters into the second box, so it dominates the entire page for them. Now this campaign, it's the central ad there with the young girl. It's an MPU video unit, and the girl actually steps out of the ad onto the front page of the website and starts talking to the user.
He's nothing like my dad. He'd pick on me all the time and call me names and criticise me. I was so depressed. I'd cut myself to feel better.
And I don't know if anybody's seen the Wario Land YouTube video, but if you just Google Wario Land YouTube video, this is a really great piece of viral marketing. We all get those little emails from our friends saying, saw this on YouTube, click here to view. You click on that link and it takes you through this YouTube page and you start watching the trailer for Wario Land, where Wario's knocking down buildings and blowing things up. But your page starts to collapse and your page starts to blow up because the entire page of your computer is actually the viral video rather than just the small video that you're watching on YouTube. So, what is the role of creativity? The role for me is it's all about using the medium that you have available to best effect. So, if you walk away with one thing from my session today, it's about take the online environment and look at it differently from everything else that you do. Don't just take your above-the-line messages or your direct marketing and put it onto a banner ad. Think about what you can do with that digital space. You can dominate a page if you talk creatively about media buying with a website owner. You might find really good improvement in results. You need to engage that customer. Remember why they're online. They're not online to click on your advertising. They're online for another reason. You need to interrupt and engage with them. And I suppose, lectured the point a little bit too much. Don't use traditional media concepts and believe they're going to work in an online environment because you will get poor results as a result of that. Call it on time, Justin.
What would you suggest if someone's thinking about running an online campaign, how to track the success of the traditional advertising that they know works? That we were just discussing earlier. We've got one of your clients who's very stuck in his ways, doesn't want to move into new avenues.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you sort of say, why don't you try this, and the reason we can track this? And
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fear out there, especially in the current climate, with a lot of brands that haven't adopted the digital space to think about, you know, should we be going into areas that's unknown? But the great thing about the online environment is it is infinitely trackable. And you can also test things quite, you know, with small budgets. You can put a small budget aside to test a viral campaign, launch in a specific region, and get some really good stats back in terms of engagement with consumers. You can't do that with more traditional media, you know, unless you've got really good conversion tracking and lead tracking built into your business. So the great thing about online is you can test things very, very easily and get some really good stats back.
You can do it for free as well if you use stuff like Google Analytics.
Yeah.
Just stuff that punches out about what's going to your website is just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Google Analytics from a perspective, we have one client who's an e-commerce retailer. Put analytics onto, he had analytics on his website, so he knew how many people were coming to his website and he knew how many people were buying on his website, but he wasn't looking at exit pages because he didn't know he could do that on Google. So just by changing his analytics to look at where people were leaving the site before they bought, we could do some changes on those pages to try and prevent that attrition from his website. So it can give you some really good stats.
Again, that's very good. I don't know which one's next, but fire away.
I know. Yep. I'm Kev Price from Key Media. When I looked at the synopsis of what I was meant to be saying, it seemed like there was loads on there, so I'll try and get through as much as I can. First, I'll give a little background into what the search engines do and how they do it. Hopefully, the main point you'll get today is that you've already got the skills to optimize your site, that it's not a technical issue, that SEO and search engine optimization is about business success rather than search engine position. I'll introduce some tools like pay-per-click and analytics, and I've got a list of tips for pay-per-click and SEO towards the end. So in 2000, there was two people called Larry Page and Sergey Brin who founded Google. They released a white paper called The Anatomy of a Search Engine. And in that white paper, they outlined the views on search, and they proposed a formula, as you can see, which basically it says that the major search engines are based on links. Links coming into a web page are seen as votes or recommendations. So what that means is that the most important part of SEO, there's 200 other signals which are measured for websites. But the most important part is the links, and it doesn't seem to be changing. But that means that you as business people can get links in just by being interesting online, by blogging, by networking. So if you get active online and get involved in relevant discussions and do things that are interesting, then the linking community out there will send in links. So I've talked to a lot of business people, usually one-on-one over the past few years, about search engines. And most of them say to me that they want to be top of Google. That's what comes back to me. But I personally don't think that that's a great measurement. I think it's very difficult to measure because there's many different search engine results. If I search for a term and you search for a term, we'll get different results back because the search engines are very intelligent and they'll bring back results based on when, where, who and what. If you search for a term, maybe there was a news article that day based on that term. Maybe other people are searching on that term and it's relevant to the time that you're searching. They'll bring back different results. Maybe you're on your mobile phone and you're searching for a restaurant. Where you are at that time is relevant to the search engines so they can give you valid results on the restaurant. If I'm logged into Google, then they've got masses of information on me. They know what I like, what I don't like through my account because I've been with them for years. And they'll provide me with results which are specific to me. So as an SEO, if I say to a businessman, I've got your business at number 1 in the search engines, and they search, they might be on number 3. So it's not the best measurement. Because there's all these multiple search engines, hopefully you can see the benefit that you can target people specifically. You're no longer competing on a global scale. You're targeting locally. You're targeting the person. So the market changes. You can actually target people that are going to convert to sale rather than just getting masses of visitors that aren't doing anything for your site. As an example, we had a client, a one-man driving school in Sunderland. He came to us saying, starting a business, need a website. Obviously, he doesn't want to target the whole world because he can only provide driving lessons to people in Sunderland because that's where he's registered. So we give him a single page, put relevant information on there, contact details, list him with Google local search, and within a day he was getting inquiries, business inquiries, because when you search with, like say, driving school in Sunderland, the local results come up first. It comes up before anything else. And within 6 months, he's hired a new driving instructor and doubled his business. So having multiple search engines and targeted marketing means that it's no longer about position. It's about measurable business success. The places and terms you get traffic from need to convert to meet your business needs. So if I've got a driving school in Sunderland, or if we've both got driving schools in Sunderland, and you've got you're number 1 for, say, Britney Spears, and you've got millions of people coming to your site, but you're not making any sales, and I'm getting traffic from some driving lessons, like 5 people might come, but I convert 1, I'm ahead of the game. And one of the most valuable tools, especially when you first start off as a small business, is pay-per-click. Because as I said